If you loved embossing on vellum, wait till you see the next step. It's even prettier.
Today we're going to be adding colour to vellum, and in particular we're going to be using some ink blending. I've got a coordinating embossing folder and stencil set here, but you don't need to have one of these. I have a bonus idea that I'm going to share with you very soon where you can ink blend without the stencils. And I did choose a vellum that was a little bit more transparent. You can certainly try this with whatever you have on hand. Now, the stencils that I'm using today are particularly easy to use because I can align them using a corner tool. So here I'm simply using my MISTI, and these stencils, as long as they're facing the correct way, will automatically line up with each other. It makes it so easy, especially when we're going to be using a coordinating embossing folder, because I want all the stems of the leaves and all the flowers to be embossed where the images are. I don't want them to misalign, so having a coordinating set like this can make it easier, especially because I haven't used any outline stamping to help me here. Now, I know that vellum can be a little intimidating when it comes to adding colour. It's because of that slick surface. It doesn't absorb the ink in the same way that we used to, like when we're using on cardstock, and also because it's translucent. So the colours can look softer than expected. The actual way that you add ink through ink blending, like with these stencils, is very similar though. I'm not doing any fancy ink blending here, but when it comes to adding multiple layers of color, like shading, it is not as easy to do. Sometimes it's just easier to go with one simple layer. You can try adding a second layer on top if you want. If you do it too quickly, then the color may shift if it hasn't had time to dry. So if you really want to add layers and shade, I would recommend allowing a time for the image to dry before you try and add those second layers or more layers to get that extra shading. So make sure to choose ink colors that are darker than what you think you're going to need, because they will dry a little bit lighter, and because of the vellum they are going to look lighter. And another option is to use something like a sticky grid mat to help hold everything in place so it doesn't shift. Now I am going to set this aside to dry for a few minutes, and while I do that, I'm going to give you another hot tip here. Test your sandwich. You've done all the ink blending, not that this is a particularly complicated image to ink blend, but I've grabbed a second piece of vellum in the same paperweight, and I'm testing my sandwich to make sure that there's not too much cracking and that the embossing folder is going to work well with this vellum before I emboss my image. So once it's dry, I probably only left it for about 10 minutes or so. I don't think it really takes that long, but I got busy doing something else. So it was well and truly dry. I just simply aligned the panel with the embossing folder and used the sandwich for my die cutting machine to run it through. And adding those extra embossing details, because there is no outline stamping on this, that's what's really going to bring this bloom to life. And how pretty is this panel? And yes, vellum does give us a couple of other challenges, and my favorite one is how we're going to attach it without seeing the glue. So often I'll go to creating a frame for my image, and that way I can adhere my vellum directly to the frame rather than putting the tape where it's going to be seen. Sometimes I'll hide some tape underneath a particular portion of, like if there's a large sentiment, or that can work as well, or if you wrap it around the whole card design. Now I did pop this panel up, so that's going to give it that sort of depth behind the vellum, like more of a window look. But if you were feeling very adventurous, you could even make this into a shaker card, but I didn't think of it till too late. I think this would have even looked pretty had I had a light coloured cardstock behind the panel. I think that would have been something fun to try. Now, I did mention this. What happens if you don't have the coordinating stencil for your embossing folder? Now, remember that test piece I did? I decided I'd add some colour to that as well, and we are going to be using some ink blending yet again. But this time, I've changed it up. Because I'm not using the coordinating stencils, what I've done instead is I've flipped the panel over and I'm working on the debossed side. I've got detailed blending brushes this time because I want to try and keep as much as I can within the images themselves, like within the petals for the flowers and within the leaves. Although with the stems and the stamens, I'll show you a little trick for those very soon. Now, I came in and used a fairly bright pink here because when we flip the panel over, I know that the colours are going to look quite a bit more muted than what they do on this side. I also did add a second layer of colour, and this colour was still wet because I have put on quite a bit. Now, this is a dye ink, so it will dye into the paper and it will dry. So if you were willing to sort of sit back and just wait for it to dry, you might be able to get an even better blend or better shaded result. But to be honest, it's the back of the vellum. So when you're looking through the front, through that translucent paper, you don't see the specific, like the lines from the blending brushes and stuff. It's all muted. So it's similar to what happens when you colour with alcohol markers on vellum. I usually will colour on the back of the images as well because it's hard to get them looking non-streaky. So this is kind of working along the same theory. And you may notice that I didn't take the colour all the way to the edge. If you had a really fine detailed blending brush, you could certainly do this, but I don't mind having lighter edges, especially of petals and leaves, because I think it comes out like a highlight. To add the details to the stamen, I used a gold gel pen, and I am still working on the reverse of the cardstock here. Now, I know this is going to take a little bit longer to dry, so I'll make sure that I try not to touch it as I'm colouring it in as well. And for those stems that are on the leaves itself, I didn't have a green gel pen, but that would work. But I used a pencil instead and just followed the grooves of the lines along the stencil impression. I want to share a quick tip with you here too. The previous card I popped the image up, but if you want bolder colours, a way to do that is to adhere your image directly to some white cardstock behind it. It's going to make that look brighter. If you lift the image up and have that gap, it will look quite a bit lighter. So I did add a white panel of cardstock directly behind my image just to make it a little bit brighter. And here again, I added a frame so that I could cover the adhesive for my vellum. So whether you're using a coordinating layering stencil or just simply adding your ink blending behind an embossed image with some ink blending tools, have a bit of fun, try out some different patterns, try out some different colors and see what you can come up with. And all together now, our bonus card where I had the vellum panel already embossed and I've added the ink blending behind that along with the gel pen and the pencil for details. And the first card here where we did the stencil ink blending and used the coordinating embossing folder to add the dimension. And don't go anywhere because I've got some more embossing videos for you to enjoy right here, and I look forward to seeing you there. If you did like today's video, don't forget to click on the thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. What are you waiting for? It's totally free. I'll see you back here again real soon. Till then, happy paper crafting. Bye.